Hello, this is Salam. In the last video I reviewed this MiG 205DS made by YesWelder, and we welded the steel and did it great. In this video I'm going to unbox and review the Spool Gun made by YesWelder, and it should be compatible with this machine. I hope you enjoy this video. It comes with extra tips and an additional roller. And also it has this wrench. It feels very well made. The length from this point to this point is 10 feet and 10 inches. And this is the connector. There is no hole over here because you don't need to feed any wire. This would carry the high current. This would carry the gas, the shielding gas. And this, the trigger. These 2 points. And this connector, what drives the DC motor inside this machine. And this is the part number for it. LBT 150. I'm also going to try it with the YesWelder aluminum wire. If you are a beginner into aluminum welding, you need to make sure the wire you use is compatible with the aluminum alloy that you weld. Because some aluminum alloy, they don't accept, for example, this wire. This is the 4043. It's compatible with the scrap aluminum that I have, so you need to make sure, if you're just trying it out, make sure you use the right wire. There's several types, and this is one of them. So make sure you use the right wire, or the spool gun will weld, but the weld may not look good, and you think the problem with the spool gun or with the welder, but most likely the problem with the material you are welding. And make sure it's aluminum. Some material, it look like aluminum, but it's not aluminum. So make sure you are welding aluminum wire. And this tip meant for beginners, somebody who just started. I'm also going to use 100% argon for shielding gas. And the flow gauge, I'm going to set it to 25 to 30 CFH because I'm welding outdoor. And now I'm ready to weld, to load this spool gun with the wire, and then I'll show you how to connect it and how to set the machine up. Make sure the wire is smooth, and when you cut it with sharp cutter so it doesn't leave any edges. Make sure you open this part. This is the idle roller. This over here would put tension on the wire. Also, you need to make sure you are using the right roller. These rollers, they have the U groove. That's why there is U after the number. The 0.8 millimeter or 30,000 is what we're going to use. And the groove is opposite to the label. On this machine, the label is on the same side as the groove size. This seems to be the opposite. So you have the 0.8 millimeter or 30,000, 0.9 millimeter or 35 thousandths of inch, and this one has 0.8 millimeter 30,000 or 1 millimeter 40,000, and they all U groove. And that's what you need when you weld aluminum. Since the groove on the opposite side, you need to make sure the 0.8 millimeter, if you are welding with 30,000, is pointing up. So you'll be able to see it. Like so. And then you need to put this retaining nut on the top of it. And the wire will feed this way. And as you see, the bottom groove is where it's going to line itself. Also make sure you have the right tip. I have the 30,000, so it's good to go. Don't over torque it, just a little bit. Just to snug it. And make sure it's free. And now we apply some torque on the wire or some pressure. This has the rubber bushing that goes inside, and this feel like aluminum bushing go on top. And you need to apply just little bit of pressure, just like that, where it still spin very easy, but it's not loose. Before I reposition the camera and show you how to connect the spool gun to the welder, if you are a beginner or you just have some knowledge about welding steel, you need to forget that. Welding aluminum is different than steel. With aluminum, you need to set the machine on DC plus, and also when you weld, you need to push and you need to set the feed rate fast, and the current, it had to be set right. Otherwise, you're gonna burn the tips and your weld look horrible. Don't pull the weld like you do with the steel. Make sure you push. If this is the joint, I will be welding in this direction, maybe at this degree. And you need to be away from the weld. With MIG welder or flux core, you need to be within half an inch to the tip. With this, you need to be about 1 inch. 3/4 to 1 inch. You need to be away from the weld so you don't burn the tip, because the aluminum, it has good thermal conductivity and it will swell. The wire will swell and it gets stuck to the tip. So you need to run it fast so the shielding gas will help cool it, and also you need to travel away. And at the end of the weld, you're gonna have a crater. It may cause a problem in the future. So make sure you weld it 2 or 3 times. Just add weld to it at the end of the weld. It's good idea to preheat the beginning of the weld. And like I said, the aluminum has good thermal conductivity. So as you weld or when you start the weld, the heat will travel and you don't need to preheat the whole piece. You just preheat the area where you are going to start. And like I said, we're going to set the shield gas to about 25 to 30. And I'm connected, and I'll show you a few things you need to do in the machine. Make sure to turn the switch to spool gun. To connect the spool gun to the machine, we will start with the motor connection. Make sure to line this groove with this. There's a groove on top, so make sure this is pointing up. And I'm going to connect this to the plus side because we are welding on DC plus. I will adjust the tension. All right, now I could hold it. It's good. Don't put too much force on the roller or you will deform the wire and you will have problem feeding at the tip. I set my flow gauge to 25. To make this video informative and as short as possible, I'm going to fine tune the machine off camera, and then once I tune it to weld good, then I'll come back and I'll show you the setting I use with this machine. The camera is showing flickering due to the multiplexing of the computer of this welder and the camera frame rate. However, if you look at it with your eyes, everything is solid. I'm welding on 110 volt and I have the machine set to manual MIG and the shielding gas set to aluminum. This machine, or the computer of this machine, when you set it on aluminum, it only allows you to set the wire size to 35,000 or 45,000. This is not important because I'm doing it on manual MIG. This machine is designed to weld aluminum. You could install the aluminum wire inside the machine and weld like you weld with any MIG welder, and it will do the job. You have to change the insert of the cable, but for now we're using the spool gun. So this really doesn't matter. I will leave it on 35,000 and I have the voltage set to 19.6 volt and the wire feed rate to 10.0. The scrap aluminum that I'm using is 1/8 inch thick. It's a good idea to clean the aluminum. Use stainless steel wire brush and then wipe it with acetone if it has grease or oil. However, if it's a brand new, then make sure to hit it with the wire brush in the area where you're going to weld. It's not necessary. The weld material and the shielding gas and the polarity of the weld, it has what they call the cleaning action. The aluminum, it has a layer of a crust. It's the oxidization of the aluminum. It's way tougher than the aluminum itself. However, when we weld, the positive lead will make this material come out and expose the bare aluminum underneath it, and this will allow us to weld good. Try to clean it the best you can to get good result. If you are a beginner, make sure you clean it real good and clean it before you weld, because the aluminum will build this oxidization layer right away. If you clean it, it's immediately start building up on the aluminum. If it's all piece, make sure you clean it good. And don't use sandpaper or a grinder disc, because the abrasive material will get stuck to the aluminum and it will give you undesired result in the weld bead. Just use a brand new high carbon steel wire brush. Preferably use stainless steel, because stainless steel doesn't rust, and the rust on the wire brush will transfer, the metal rust will transfer to the aluminum. So make sure you have clean and dry aluminum. And preheat it. Use a torch. Try to reach to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Otherwise, when you start weld, it will you're gonna apply too much heat, because you see the weld material doesn't flow real good and your weld will not look good. So try to preheat it. But then when you start welding, the heat will transfer through the metal real fast and you don't have to preheat the whole thing. Don't apply too much heat. This will deform the aluminum. You will have blisters and it will cave in. On the other side of the weld, if you apply too much heat, if you stay for too long on the aluminum, this will cause that blistering that I talked about. So make sure, be fast with your response. With the steel weld, you have plenty time, because the steel is way stronger than aluminum and it will melt at slower rate. So you have plenty time. You could correct your bead. With aluminum, If you see anything going wrong, stop, clean it, and then restart your weld. You may have to file it or use a grinding disc that's designed for aluminum, and then restart. Don't sit there for too long. This will deform the piece that you are trying to weld. And like I said, I'm going to travel in this direction, at this angle. As you saw, I didn't heat it enough in the beginning. That's why it looked like that. And I intentionally carried on to show you this. And at the end, I put two tab of weld or two tack to build it up because it's create crater. And this is good weld. It's fused the metal real good. And it's about the same thickness as the aluminum itself. When you weld, you're supposed to weld on both sides to add strength to the material, because this weld, it's not as strong as a small bead at 4 corners. But let us see how strong this bead is. It's really a very strong weld. Now this piece of metal is already hot, so I'm not going to preheat it. And it's not even clean that much. I cleaned those pieces when I cut them about 4 days ago when I was planning to do this video. And as you see, the plier left some material. But it's a good idea. If you are a beginner, do your best to get successful at welding. Make sure you clean everything. You don't have any contamination. And you use 100% argon, a pure argon. You buy it from a good welding supply shop. This is a brand new wire brush. It's not stainless steel. Like I said, it's better to use a stainless steel. However, I'm welding scrap pieces. If you try to weld something important or building a project, make sure you use stainless steel brush and use acetone and all that to clean. Let us put another bead on top of this one. Or you know what, let me go from this side. This is a very thick and a beautiful weld. And as you saw, because I have everything set correctly, everything going smooth, I have no burn tips, I have no feeding issue, and everything is going smooth. And now, because this piece is too hot, as you see, the metal start having blisters. That's why you need to weld it quick and make sure you don't allow the aluminum to get overheated. This will deform it. Make sure you do it quick. Let me weld another scrap piece and then we finish this video. the table absorb the heat, because as you see I'm connected to this metal table and it's very big, so it will absorb the heat. That's why the other piece I didn't preheat it enough and the beginning of the weld wasn't that great. Make sure you have a temperature laser gun and measure the temperature. Don't exceed 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, you have to have in consideration, when you weld this way, you trap the shielding gas and you get better result. When you weld a corner joint like this one, you will suffer from not having enough shielding gas. However, the weld looks great. Let me try one more thing. Let me join these two pieces like this. also have good results. I'm having fun with this spool gun, and I want to show you it's reliable if you follow everything correctly. I have a gap over here I'm going to fill. And like I said earlier, I'm welding on 120 circuit. The combination of the YesWelder product, the aluminum wire, spool gun, and MIG welder work out great. I was able to weld aluminum and get good result. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Be safe and have a good day.